Greetings, folks. Welcome to the Flying Doctor channel. Now, do you ever get that moment when you're taxiing out, your flaps are down, and suddenly you're like, well, wait, what's my rotation speed again? Or when do those flaps need to come in? Or worse than that, you're mid-approach and suddenly thinking, what's the landing configuration for this aircraft? You know, what are the limitations on the flap speed? What's my final landing speed? It happens to me all the time, and particularly in career mode where things really count, because if you trash your aircraft, it's going to cost you a lot of credits. First thing, I don't want to claim exclusivity if it's not the case, but I have not seen any other simmers doing this before. Most of the focus that I've seen in the flight simulator community has been on aircraft news, beta releases, tutorials, yes, and modding. But what if we had a smarter way to actually learn and prep for our flights, and even something to turn to in an emergency? Well, that's where ChatGPT comes in. It's been a busy few weeks for me, Holy Week, Easter, and my flying time's been limited, but I found a game-changing tool that's now part of every flight I do. And I'm not scratching around the aircraft going, hang on a sec here, you know, can I just read these speeds? Welcome to the Flying Doctor channel. Let's geek into it. But firstly, let's talk about how to get hold of ChatGPT. You need to go to chat.openai.com. You will need to create a free OpenAI account. There's a free version of ChatGPT 3.5, great for general questions, route planning, and most Kneeboard info. We'll come on to what Kneeboard info is in a minute. But it doesn't always have the most up-to-date aviation references, and it can occasionally be a bit vague or make up aircraft data, dare I suggest. It's good as a starter to have a little bit of poke around, but needs checking. I use the paid version. This is ChatGPT 4. It costs around £20 a month in the UK. I see this as a glorified search engine plus, but it's faster, more accurate, and more consistent, and it can handle much more complex planning, systems explanations, and formatting for things like checklists and PDF printouts. I personally have found this invaluable for my flight sim prep. Let's start talking about Kneeboards. So I went into ChatGPT and I asked it to give me a sample Kneeboard. I don't know if you've sort of seen this before, and here ChatGPT has just produced for me a sample. Doesn't really matter whether this is accurate or not. I could go back into ChatGPT and say, can you have all of this information that I'm going to give you, and can you put it in an image or a document? You can also do it in PDF. So here you are. Although it's not a board, this is a PDF document that can just sit on one of my screens, or I could print it out, and it just gives me all of the basic information that I need. So for example, it's saying the landing configuration for the Grand Caravan, which is not this aircraft. Flaps need to be full. Approach speed is 85 to 95 knots. Looking to touch down at 75 knots. And the minimum runway length I'm after is 2,000 feet, 610 meters. So I've got tips as well. You can enlarge this as you need on a second screen. And then I've got landing tips. I can see them straight away. Use reverse thrust immediately after touchdown if it's available. Watch descent rate. Aim for less than 500 feet per minute on final approach. So yes, as you'll be aware, across from one aircraft to another, suddenly you find you reach these points, you need all of this information at the same time just in front of you. And yes, this is what a Kneeboard set of instructions will do for you. This is really straightforward stuff to do. For example, the prompt that I've given ChatGPT here, give me a Kneeboard summary for the Skyhawk 172 takeoff speed, flap settings, climb rate, cruise speed, landing config, and approach speed. And then we'll just press the button on that, and it'll just give me, there we are. So straight away, it's already come up with an answer. So what's it said? Takeoff, flaps 0, up for normal takeoff, rotation 55, initial climb speed 62, best rate of climb 74, climb rate. So you can see that you can transpose this in whatever way you want. You might want to write it down, get it in your head. Cruise speed, 120 knots, typical cruise power. Landing, 0 degree for no flap landings, 10 to 30 for normal short field. Approach speed, all of this detail here. V speeds for quick reference. We've covered this before. VR, your rotate speed, VX 62, VY 74. These are the rate of climb speeds here, and then you've got your maximum speeds with flat expended. So 10 degrees, don't go beyond 120 knots, folks. There you go, 110 knots. And 20 to 30 degree 85. Really helpful just to have sitting right now with you. And then it says, let me know if you want a printable or PDF version. Oh, I would like a PDF version. We'll go for that, shall we? PDF version. So that we're analysing at the moment. Occasionally we get a little problem. And we've arrived. It took no more than 20 seconds. Here's your Kneeboard summary for the Cessna 172 in PDF. Download it. So I'll download it and we'll have a look at that. And we're done. So firstly, it produced this summary. I don't think it made the best use of space. So then I took things a little bit further. I asked it to tabulate things so they're a little bit clearer for me. And then we came up with this. That looks a little bit neater for me. Oh, there we are. We can increase the text size there so you can see there. You can have this on your screen. This is one that's done in A5 format. Yeah, whichever way you want to do it, and you could also get it to go all the way back and say, can you do it against you know, strapped onto somebody's leg? But there you go, Kneeboard summary for 172. So absolutely brilliant. Everything you need in one place. Revolutionary. Okay, so the next win is runway validation. And by that, what I mean is that if you are in career mode, as I am here, and you are wanting to go on a trip, it doesn't always, Microsoft Flight Simulator does not always produce trips that are going to work in your aircraft. I think there's something in that about you need to be sort of responsible to think, is this doable for me, rather than just picking any mission. So for example, if I'm wanting to fly this trip, say, destination is Beccles from Italy across to the UK. Now what I'm looking for here is, if I click on this, will I be able to land at the destination airport? And secondly, yes, what will the takeoff be? So we'll just give that a couple of seconds to load. Once again, not much information in the tablet as to the nature of the runways and how challenging they might be, but I can find my route from LIDA, L-I-D-A, going to EGSM Beccles. All it tells me under the general tab is it's a small airport. So there we are. So can I land this thing in this aircraft? Well, let's see. The aircraft that I'm looking to fly in is the Pilatus and not the Cessna 208B. When you accept the mission, you get an opportunity to switch the aircraft, but I'm interested, my nearest aircraft is the Pilatus, and obviously it costs money to move an aircraft. So it's not the Cessna 208B, it's the Pilatus. So let's see whether that aircraft would work with this. So I'll just ask ChatGPT. So I just go MSFS 2024 Pilatus PC24. I want to fly LIDA to EGSM. Is this doable? Runways suitable. So just press enter on that. You need to press the up button. Give it a couple of seconds. So this is usually pretty efficient, and it will tell me. So it's searching the web, and there we are. It's not feasible due to one-way limitations at the destination. So there we are, and it will tell me exactly why. So whilst the Pilatus is designed for short field operations, the high elevation LIDA reduces engine performance and lift, making the runway marginal for safe takeoff. In other words, yeah. And arrival at Beccles, surface is concrete and grass, and needs a longer runway. So if you wanted to fly that aircraft, then that wouldn't work. Let's try the Cessna 208B. So I'll ask about that. What about the Cessna 208B, which is perhaps why the sim was directing me to use that aircraft. I don't know. It probably is miles away, but it's searching the web. So that miles away means that I'll have transport costs going in, but it'll tell me about whether I can do that. And my guess is that it will be able to do that. So the point is not whether I'm right or wrong in thinking, you know, can that aircraft go? Oh, it sent me some pictures. Yes, it is possible, although with some consideration. So it's warning me already. And takeoff distance over a 50-foot obstacle of 2,160 feet and a ground roll. While LiDAR's elevation may slightly affect performance, the runway length is sufficient. You're okay. Arrival, no problems with the arrival. So straight away, I know simmers are out there who are like, oh, my life, I arrived somewhere and it wasn't suitable for my airport. Well, yeah, we've kind of said you do need to look at that, and that's your decision if you opt to fly. Don't assume that all of the missions will work for you, but this is great. You can see straight away. Runway length is sufficient on arrival. Exercise caution due to surface and lighting conditions. Isn't that helpful? Here's the third thing that I love about ChatGPT. I've just done a cold and dark start, and well, actually, I pressed Control and E actually to get the engine going, as I do with most of the missions, as you'll be instructed to do this in career mode. I've got a couple of curious errors here, and I don't really know what they are. One is bleed air off, and the other is auto feather off. And so what I found was it was really easy to go into ChatGPT and just explain the situation, see what comes back. So I've just typed here up a bleed air off caution in the Cessna Sky Courier, should be worried. Let's put that through and let's see what it says. Good question. It tells me all about it, so I'm learning all the time. It's not necessarily a crisis, but it does matter depending on your flight phase, what it means. And so you've got all this information. You're not getting pressurization. Environmental systems like cabin heat, defogging, or pressurization won't work properly. Should be worried. On the ground, no. Normal during start. Climbing above 10,000 feet, yes. Cabin won't pressurize. So cruise below 10,000 feet, maybe, but watch out. It'll get cold and foggy. And so don't have to worry about it also on descending or shutting down. And you can also say, you know, where is the button in the aircraft, and see. Sometimes you'll get lucky. There you go. Just asked it the question. Let's see what we get coming back. And there we are. Bleed out switch is typically located on the overhead panel. Now, this is where ChatGPT got it wrong and had me looking around for a while, near the environmental and anti-ice controls. And then it even tells me. And I must admit, yes, I did spend some time looking around. So it didn't quite, but it's labelled bleed air or bleed 1, bleed 2. 2 switches or rotary knobs, one for each engine. Positioned near air conditioning, cabin pressurization, possibly next to engine ice, and how to use them. Well, I did manage to find them. They're right here and they're next. Yes, they're under environmental. So I now know, well, I can flick those on and we will see the errors have disappeared here. Auto feather off is another one, so you can learn from that. You can type in, well, what's auto feather all about, and do I need it, and where is it? Well, you can find it. It's behind here, but you can see prop auto feather arm, and it's saying auto feather off here. So if I push that up there, those errors disappear. So there are little things that come up that can be really, really helpful, and that you may well be able to find to be fair in going through the checklist. Sometimes you can get lucky if you do an expert checklist. Auto feather, for example, you can find by clicking the icon there, the little eye, and it will show me there it is, and it'll even highlight in kind of blue where it needs to be. But it's a bit hit and miss as to whether you can find it. You can't search for a word at the moment. So yes, really helpful, I find. And finally, I am in Northern Ireland at the moment, and perhaps I might want some advice on where to fly. Here I am, and don't forget that you can go to your flight bag and you can find out exactly where you are. So I'm an EIDL, I've forgotten before, and I'm just interested in flying a VFR route to just get some nice scenery. So I can simply ask ChatGPT about that. So here we go. I am situated at EIDL. Can you give me a VFR flight across Northern and Southern Ireland that will appeal? I mean, it doesn't know what's going to appeal, but let's have a look. I think I should have written that's got lovely scenery, but what it'll do is it'll have a look. You can see it's searching on the web there. And here's a Scenic VLR flight from Donegal, reminding me where of, across stunning landscapes of Northern and Southern Ireland, showcasing coastal vistas, mountain ranges and charming towns. This route is ideal for a leisurely flight in Flight Simulator. So there we go. So I can ask it and say, can you cut and paste the actual route for me? So it's still on to Scenic highlights. Crikey, it's done all of this. Would you like this route in a printable Kneeboard format as a GPS compatible file for your Flight Simulator? And I'll say, can you do me a flight plan I can copy and paste? Can you produce flight plan with way markers. Now, what I haven't done is can it do it in flight plan format so that you could maybe do it in little nav map? We're getting beyond ChatGPT now and bring it in, or do you have to manually type it? But I'm quite confident it will come up with some routes for me. It's just taking its time there. So this has honestly changed how I prepare for flights. It's practical, it's personal to my own needs, it saves a huge amount of time. If this helped you, then please leave us a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you like what you've seen, please like and subscribe. Really important as we journey forward. So there we go. Here's my full VFR flight plan from Donegal to Dublin Western with scenic waypoints. Let's have a look and see what we got there. And there we go. This is what it's produced for me, and I'm already really interested genuinely to fly around these places. But I'm kind of thinking, well, wasn't quite what I was after. You know, it'd be good just to have a list. It's tabulated it for me here, although but then I got a bit greedy, so I jumped across and said, can you do this with air navigation waypoints and in a format that I can cut and paste? And it's done that exactly for me. So there is some code that is saying I could copy into Microsoft's Flight Simulator or whatever I'm using to plan, little nav map or Sky Vector or whatever is that we are using. There we go. Lovely little flight plan for us sorted out there. I think really that is beyond the scope of this video. So I hope you enjoyed it. Take care, folks, and stay safe. And do stay watching. It's really good to have folks support as the channel continues to grow. Happy Easter, by the way. The season of Easter, we journey with that for quite a while before Pentecost arrives. But have a really good Easter, and I hope you had a good Easter weekend. Take care, folks. Stay safe.